Hello everyone, I'm RiverFox and welcome back to another Fortnite video. If you are new around here, then thank you very much for stopping by. Don't forget to click that like down below and hit that subscribe before you go. And if you turn on the notification bell, then you'll always get updated of all my new content when it comes out. If you do buy anything from the item shop, either in Battle Royale or Save the World, then please consider using my creator code in the item shop, because it will help me out a great deal. But let's get right into today's video. Okay, so today's video then is all about your transform schematics and how to transform schematics that you have to be able to get something different or something else. So we're going to the transform for you now. Now, in order to use any of these transform schematics, first of all, you will need to have what is called people. Now, people, you can either get them by doing Rescue the Survivor missions. You will get a certain amount of people points, as it is, whenever you do any Rescue the Survivor missions, and you can also get them from doing your expeditions, which if it's not already out, then I will be doing a video for you very soon on how to do your expeditions. But if you've got your people points, then you can use your transform schematics then to turn something into something else. So on the transform schematic tab, now you have three sort of tabs along the top here. You can see all of your transforms, or if you go across, you can see your permanent ones, which means you can use them as many times as you like. Or you'll see your temporary ones, which means you can only use them that once. Now on say this one here for the spear transform schematic, now you'll notice it's got a number 3 down the bottom there. Now that means that I've got 3 of these, so I can use that then 3 times. But if I go on to my permanent ones here, now the main one that I use is my survivor transform schematic, because the main thing that you're always looking for is survivor XP. So if I go on to this survivor transform schematic for you, now you will be presented then with this screen. Now, depending on how far along the quest line you are, will depend on how many of these tabs will be unlocked for you. But I've got all of them unlocked here. So if we select on this first one, now it'll bring up initially your heroes. But if you scroll through on the tabs, you'll go through your defenders, then you've got your lead survivors, your squad survivors, and then of course your weapons and your guns and your traps. Now for the purpose of this one, because I always get loads and loads of survivors which I just don't need, now you can, if I go back for a second, if you go on to your manage survivors, now you can go on and you can recycle your survivors. Now I'm not going to actually retire it, but if I was to retire this survivor, this green survivor, I would get 400 survivor XP for it, which, yes, that is brilliant, but you can get a lot more by actually using your transform schematics. So if we go back onto our transform schematic for the survivor, now I'll go back then onto my survivors here. So if I select this one then and place that in on the first box, now you'll see on the right hand side there, you will receive the 400 survivor XP. If I then go in and add in a second one, of course I will get 800 survivor XP, and if I fill them all up here, Now I will receive 2000 survivor XP for recycling or transforming these survivors. Now just for a second, if I go and take that one out, now you'll notice there where it's got the numbers, it says 12 and 18. Now 18 on the right hand side there, that is the total number of points that you will need in order to transform your objects. It doesn't have to be survivors. You can use weapons, you can use traps, anything that you want you can put in these, but you want to try and get it as close to and not too much over the 18 points. Because if I was to put in, let's say, one of my epic survivors, now it would still put me to the maximum 30 points which I can get for a rare survivor. But if I go and put in a uncommon survivor here, it still gives me the same amount at the bottom. I'll still receive a rare survivor. So you don't want to go wasting epics and legendaries and things on recycling this. You want to try and get as close to that total amount of points as you can. So if I recycle these 5 uncommon survivors, then I will receive a rare survivor and I'll receive 2000 XP. So whereas if you were to just retire these 5 survivors, you would only get 2000 XP. But I'm going to actually get, now if I bring it up, now I've received a rare survivor just by doing this. So I've got my 2000 XP and I've got another survivor. So that will give me another one that I can use then later on to transform. So if I go back in, do this again, because I've got plenty of these uncommon survivors, which I don't need any of them anymore. I'm all on legendary and epics. So we do that again and transform that, and then I get another rare survivor. So that is my permanent one. I've always got a permanent survivor transform schematic there. Now if I just go over to my temporary ones like these, now I could recycle anything to transform it into any of these that I wanted. So if I wanted to go on to a trap transform schematic, I can add in, I'm not going to, but if I was to add in these 3 here, then what I would get is I would receive an epic trap and I would receive 16,800 survivor XP and 27 training manuals. So this is by far the best way that you can use to gain extra survivors and to gain your survivor XP as well. So if I go now back onto my survivor tab and my manage survivors, and these are the 2 new survivors that I just received just from transforming those uncommon survivors. So if ever you're short on survivor XP and you've got loads of uncommon survivors there, then it's always worthwhile doing that. Now another thing that you can do, now I don't have any of these the epic survivor transform schematics or even the legendary, but what you can do, if you have got an epic one, you can transform all your uncommon survivors into a rare survivor, and then you can then do exactly the same and transform your rare survivors into an epic survivor. And of course, if you've got a legendary survivor transform, you can even do it up to the legendary. I wouldn't probably advise doing, I'll go in here just for a second, because at the very bottom here you'll see I've got these uncommon survivors. Now, when you recycle those, you don't get any form of training manuals. Whereas if you were to recycle your green, your uncommon survivors, of course you get your rare survivor. And then once you recycle your rare survivors, you will actually get training manuals as well. So for every one that you transform, you will actually get training manuals. So if you're short on training manuals as well, then that is a good way as well of gaining your training manuals. But that is all about the Transform schematic. Hopefully this will help you out, so you won't go wasting what you could be getting from transforming instead of just recycling and retiring. So I hope it's helped you out. If it has, then don't forget to drop a like down below and hit that subscribe before you go. And if it, as I said, if it hasn't already come out, it will be coming out very soon. I will be doing a video now on expeditions, which is another great way of getting survivors and lots of different things. So I'll do a video on that very soon. But I hope you enjoyed, and until next time, I hope you have a lovely day and stay safe.